What's up, guys? We are here for our very first episode of
We don't have a name
our
yet.
brand new podcast that does not have a name yet. We will have that soon. So my name's Troy.
I'm Manny.
And welcome to our very first episode. So what's going on with you? How you doing?
I'm doing good, but we got to talk about that big elephant in the room with this controversy of The Last Dance, man. Because, I don't know how to feel about it. Because, obviously I'm 19 turning 20.
I am 23.
You're 23.
23.
So we didn't get to witness Jordan, really.
That's correct, yeah.
We did not. Because even people in their late or mid 30s didn't even get to witness Jordan until because they were lucky enough to maybe, if my math is correct, near the middle of the second three-peat.
Mm-hmm.
So seeing all this stuff unravel, and of course anybody who has a girlfriend, they'll get into The Last Dance because it's mainly the whole premise of the documentary is that they're basically unraveling things that led up to the three-peat and the last shot. And it's also about all the drama that you would have never known about completely, because unless you really lived in the city of Chicago, because I think maybe even back then, only the city's newspapers would really have really certain things about that, because they were always visiting stuff like the United Center and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So really watching it unfold, and you really forget certain things. And I think how we view Jordan is much different than people who got to witness Jordan, and how the next generation is going to really view Jordan. Because this documentary really was a tell-all of who he was. There was a little outrage about him not being a good teammate, And I don't know what people really expected, because greatness really does have a cost, you know what I mean? I will say this, though. My favorite part was seeing Scottie. I love Scottie Pippen, full disclosure, I do. But seeing him sign a bad contract and yet complain about it, I thought that was very selfish. I wanted to get mad at Jordan for saying Scottie was selfish, but at the end of the deal, he was right, because he signed the deal, and I believe they'll talk about it in episode 2 or 3.
Okay.
So Scottie basically is coming off of a championship win, and the owner, I don't remember what his name was, but the owner of the Bulls is like, Scottie, if you sign that, I'm not responsible for that. That's your decision. That's your mess up. And basically, I was like, you can't really get blamed. Come on.
Yeah.
It's like a wolf in wolf's clothing, not really a wolf in sheep's clothing. I can understand if he got scammed into signing it, but in actuality, he didn't. And because you haven't seen the documentary, right?
I have not. Full disclosure, I have not seen it. I've seen bits and pieces of it. I think I saw the very first episode, and obviously seen a lot of clips. Everyone's talking about it. I mean, it's everything. It's the only thing going on in the sports world right now, and so it's out everywhere over Twitter, Instagram. I think my favorite part was, or kind of just the interesting part that I saw, was the thing with Gary Payton. And
with the Michael Jordan laugh?
Yeah, and how Gary just clowned him, or Jordan just clowned Gary. And then I saw something interesting that made me think. It was like Jordan's doing all this laughing, and I'm a Jordan fan. I respect him, but not as big as some people are on Jordan, I think. And obviously this documentary shows a lot of his cocky side, a lot of his being a jerk side, and all this stuff. And then, so Gary Payton, and he's clowning him for, I'm not scared of Gary, whatever. And if you look back at the stats, Gary actually played some pretty good defense on him. And I think when he was on him, he held him to 30, in the 30s percentage field goal wise. And so that was the most interesting part to me.
Yeah, but me personally, I don't think stats really show the whole story. That's just how I feel about sports, mainly because you also have to think about where you are in that situation. I think Michael has this weird ability as an athlete, because he just literally turns it on the flip of a switch, and he creates narratives too. Mm-hmm. They'll talk in the later parts of the documentary how some rookie, I believe, for the Washington Wizards, I don't remember his name, but scored on Michael, but they're playing in Washington. So now Michael made up a thing in his head where basically he said, "Good game, Michael," and then basically he kept that in his mind. So now they're on a plane back to Chicago, and then just drops, I think it was 40 on him.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this dude's a freaking psychopath. And plus, he's just, I think we've never seen anything like Michael mentality-wise. Mm-hmm. He's just on another level. Yeah. But when it comes to the freak of nature, you could also argue we've seen Shaquille O'Neal, we've seen LeBron James.
Yep.
But even then, with those freak of natures, Giannis too, I even forgot about him.
Yeah.
But mentality-wise, if you want to start off a team, and if you want to do it in a mean way, it depends on what your beliefs is as a person. Because I believe in fun, playing as a team.
Yep.
more so now because the Warriors have really proven that. Because I don't think the Warriors are screaming at each other at practice. I think Kerr's like having fun with them.
Yeah.
You know? But me personally, I'm taking Kobe at 2. Mm-hmm. Not Michael.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, Last Dance, just in general. So, it's like you had mentioned earlier, we are too young to really have witnessed Michael. And so all we have are highlights. All we have are, watching games over and over or whatever. And so watching the documentary like you have, has anything changed for you, like in your perception of Michael, or like, just anything about his career changed?
I just always knew he was an asshole.
Okay.
I knew it just because, like, people like to make everybody made money off of Jordan at one point. That's why I always thought it was stupid when after he retired the first time, people were like, oh, he got fine and it was a secret fine. No, the whole league made money off of him. So I knew right off then it wasn't true. That I think because when you win a lot, it's very fatiguing mentally. And I could understand why he would want to take a break. But like, I think how we're going to view him as, because there's a season, I think it was like his 3rd season, he averaged 40 for the whole season. How do you average? Like, that's ungodly. I think personally, greatest player of all time, the way he got there now, that's the real question. Ethically, is there another way of doing it? Do you have to be an asshole to really win championships? So, for me, still the greatest of all time. I just think some things got revealed that we just probably wouldn't have known. Shout out, by the way, Dennis Rodman, one of my favorite rebounders. This man left to go on Monday Night Nitro as they're playing Utah in 1998. That was awesome. I didn't know that storyline. I wasn't born yet, so that was cool.
What a guy he is. So, you know what? Something that changed for me a little bit, and I think a lot of people, is someone we've already talked about, is Scottie Pippen. And, just how much he meant to that team. And there's a lot of guys coming out who are saying, Karl Malone said in an interview today or yesterday or something, maybe it was part of the documentary, I'm not sure. He said it wasn't that I was scared to face Michael, or it was just all about facing Michael. It was about facing the Bulls. And Scottie Pippen was a huge part of the Bulls. And he's another guy that, numbers-wise, obviously he was great, but he wasn't like, obviously he wasn't Jordan. And he averaged like 16 or 17 a game, but he impacted the game in more ways than one.
Now, where do you think Scottie ranks of all-time sidekicks?
All-time sidekicks?
Yeah.
He's got to be number 1 to me. I don't know. He's got 6 of them. And so who's the sidekick in Kobe and Shaq?
That's a good question. If we're doing the three-peat era, then it would be Kobe because he hasn't fully formed as a player yet. So
there's some other good ones, but I mean, it's hard to compete with him. Again, impacted the game more than just stats.
Me personally, though, I feel like Scottie's legacy took a hit, though. Because, I feel like he really took a bullet for Jordan in this documentary. Because what I heard throughout this documentary was that the whole reason it finally got made was the fact that after LeBron James, I think it might have been in the shot, he said, I'm the greatest of all time after coming back from 3-1. So then as soon as the 3-1 thing happened, Jordan calls up ESPN and goes, release the footage. So just to show that he's the greatest. Because, like, it's so weird because it's you're either swinging on one side of the pendulum or this other, because you're going to think Jordan's the greatest. Because I've seen some people do polls and stuff to see where Jordan was better than LeBron at. And it's so far to the other way that he's better, even in passing, which I think is ridiculous. Or you're really going to say, nah, he's not that. He's not, no, you know what I mean? So, but honestly, with Scottie Pippen, though, hands down best sidekick. This man took a bullet in the documentary. This man took migraines. This man had back injuries. Pay cut. Oh my God.
I mean,
there's one thing that always bothered me about Scottie, and he'll never live it down, was when Jordan left to go play baseball. They're playing the Knicks, I believe, and it's the Eastern semi-conference finals. And then basically they knew the ball was going to go to Scottie, so Phil draws up a different play. And basically, the play's going to go to Tony Kukoc because he's been making game winners pretty much that whole season, and they were really a team that season. And Scottie sees that, and he gets mad, and he sits out. I'm like, wow. That'll always live with Scottie.
It shows something about you. It shows where you are, and, that you're not necessarily...
In that moment, his ego got a little too big there.
Of course. So it's funny. We've been talking about a little bit of talk. We've been given a little taste of who the GOAT is and what's going on, and, like, Michael Jordan, the GOAT. And so it's funny, ESPN releases this documentary. It's been out for, a few weeks now. And then last week, they released their top 10 players of all time. And I don't know if you saw that list, but just reading down the list, so we have the top 10, this is, I don't know who combined on ESPN, but this was their rankings of the top 10. And it goes Shaq at number 10, Kobe at number 9, Tim Duncan, the big fundamental, number 8.
I think Timmy should be higher, first off.
Okay.
As much as I hate to admit it.
Already.
Yeah.
All right. Larry Legend at 7. They got Wilt at 6.
Magic at 5.
Magic at 5. I don't see him any lower than that. He's got to be top 5 to me.
Oh, yeah.
To me. And then Bill Russell, 4. Then the top 3, you might have been able to guess by now, that's for sure. Kareem at 3. LeBron at 2. And Michael Jordan at number 1. So, your thoughts on that, and then I'll give some of my thoughts on that.
It's all over the place. The list is because when you're making a list like that, what are you taking into consideration? Are you taking rings? Are you taking stats? Are you taking MVPs?
Yeah.
So for me personally, I think Tim Duncan should at least be number 6 over Wilt, mainly because when you think about perfect careers, Tim Duncan's has had a perfect career. I'm not saying he's the GOAT. I'm just saying he's never had any controversies.
Yeah.
He's always showed up. He's always worked hard. He's always led by example.
Yep.
He has 5 rings to show for it.
Yep.
He's got 1 MVP, I believe. So, I mean, I think Timmy should be ranked a little bit higher.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen Magic really play besides highlights, or for any other person prior to the 90s. A lot of them on here, yeah. I can say I got to witness LeBron. Yeah. I mean, you can say that too.
Kobe and Shaq a little bit, obviously.
I don't know about Kobe, because, I love Kobe to death, my favorite player, of course.
You don't know about him where?
I want him to be higher, but at the same... I think he should be number 7 over Larry.
Okay.
Because 81 points, 5 champions. Larry has, 3? I'm not sure, because he went back and forth with Magic in the 80s. In the comment section, someone out there, please correct me, seriously. Because we're just fans as much as you guys, so we definitely want to hear where you guys take this and where you're ranking your favorite player. But Kobe I think should at least be over Larry. Okay. I don't know if that's because I'm a diehard Lakers fan, but Shaq, I would put Shaq exactly where he is, because what made Shaq so dominant was his size and weight. But other than that, he was mainly just doing hook shots and, of course, the free throws, even though he was there when it meant something.
Sure. It's there's a lot of people complaining about the list, of course. Just like any list that anyone's going to release, there's going to be bias. There's going to be people thinking things that maybe they shouldn't think or whatever. But, it's an interesting list. It really is. I think if I were to do...
Would you make any changes to this list?
If I were to do anything, like I said, I would probably move Magic up to at least 4. So at least Bill? 4 over Bill. And then it's tough for me with Kareem. It really is.
I think Kareem's fine where he is.
I think you can definitely make the argument. Definitely you can say that, you know what I mean?
The reason why is because when you think about Kareem, you think of the one most unguardable move. Yeah. Because I was hitting you with that move not so long. No, the skyhook. Yeah. Because I always say, as much as I love the 2001 Lakers, greatest team of all time, Lakers team of all time, that's not entirely true because the 80s Lakers had so much depth and just those 2 star players in Magic and Kareem. Yeah. And plus, Kareem was hitting the skyhook from the 3-point line. Not in games, but in practice. Yeah. So, I mean, just to show you...
he and Magic both changed the game. You know what I mean? Just for what they did.
Because Magic really created the whole idea of a point forward.
Yeah. Oh,
because I remember Magic was running center early on in his career.
Yeah, running center in his rookie year. Yeah. He was incredible, And so, that might be the only thing I would do. 6, 7, 8, 9, kind of interchangeable to me. I think that
you could really toss those numbers anywhere and it really wouldn't affect it.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But Magic's Magic, you know what I mean? I think I would definitely put him above Bill. So, for you, let's hear your top 5.
Starting 5 of all time?
No, your top 5.
Oh, Jordan.
All-time players. So, what's different for you?
For me?
Yeah.
It's so hard.
So for me, as bad as I want to put LeBron at number 1, just because I'm a bigger LeBron fan than I am a Jordan fan.
So much controvery.
You know what I mean? But that's just me, and that's just kind of where I'm at. But I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
Jordan number 1, LeBron number 2, Magic number 3.
Attaboy.
Yeah,
that's mine.
And then I'm going to put Kobe number 5.
Okay, so Kareem 4, Kobe 5.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you might put Kobe in your top 5. I kind of did. So I'm going to go Jordan, LeBron, Kareem. Or Jordan, LeBron, Magic. We're same top three. Then I'm probably going to go Kareem and Bill. So the only real difference is Magic moving up to the 3 spot and then the other 2 sliding back. And so that, I have an interesting question. I was thinking about earlier today. Mm-hmm. Okay, so LeBron's number 2 for you and I. Mm-hmm. And I've thought this over in my head, and I want to challenge you to think about this. What does it take for you
to put him ahead of Jordan?
How many rings?
It's not about rings, it's about mentality for me. Because I know
he can get 9 rings, and he has to be above Jordan.
Well, I'm also comparing about the rules. I'm talking about the era of competition.
Of course.
Because when I think of...
But how many rings? Just answer that one.
How many rings?
How many rings would it take? Would it take 7?
He's got 3 right now, right?
Correct.
5.
5, and he would be
5 is a Laker.
Over?
5, yeah.
Over him or even?
No, over, in my opinion. Because he's been to more finals.
Yeah.
He's has, I think, the same amount of MVPs. I'm not exactly sure. Getting
not
correct
quite.
on that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
We really should have brought up their statistical stats if we knew we were going to have this one. But the reason why is just because consistency for me really does make greatness. Because Jordan has always been consistent. Kobe's always been consistent. LeBron, of course, hasn't really missed the finals in, what?
Last year was his first one in 8 years.
Because he was there in 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015.
Yep. I think he made 8 straight.
8 straight, right?
And then last year.
To do that is unworldly because... But again, the reason I bring up competition, too, is Jordan had some competition in the East. I remember his first year coming back from baseball, he had to go up against the tough seeded Orlando Magics, and they lost. You know what I mean? And plus, think about all the teams Jordan has beaten in the finals. Karl Malone, John Stockton. Now, that's... They were hungry, especially in the second run.
Yeah.
He had to overcome Boston and learn how to do that. And, of course, we can't leave out the bad boy Detroit Pistons. I know people can make the argument that Detroit was over the hill at their age, but I think they were pretty fine where they were.
But did Jordan beat the 73-9 Warriors?
It depends on what era you're playing in.
What do you mean? They did not play the 73-9 Warriors.
No, I'm saying if we could time travel with teams, what rules are we playing with?
I'm just
because
saying.
Hand checking would make a big difference.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying that was the greatest overall regular season record.
Hey, it's like Scottie Pippen said when they had the best record at one point. It don't mean a thing without their ring.
And LeBron's the reason they didn't get a ring. And Kyrie, shout out to Kyrie a little bit.
Yeah, but I feel like what Jordan did along the way was more meaningful than that win. You know what I mean? Even though it's like the greatness of that 3-1 comeback. Fantastic, but Jordan has done that numerous times. It's just spread out throughout the course of years. So that's why I was like, one fantastic moment or multiple fantastic moments. That's how I looked at it as.
Yeah, but for me, so you say 5, and LeBron's the GOAT.
Yeah,
2 more rings.
2 more. Just give me 2 more as a Laker.
Shout out to the Lakers fans out there.
Lakers.
That's interesting. So 5. I was thinking 5. Possibly 4, and for me, as much as I'm wanting to say it, I still have Jordan up at the top. But for me, it's close. He's worthy of the conversation at least right now. I'm not saying he is there, but 1 more ring and it's definitely close. And then, like you're saying, 2 more and he might have it. And one thing that's always annoyed me about the Jordan-LeBron conversation is people sometimes try and penalize LeBron for getting to the finals and losing. Jordan went 6-0. That's awesome. Clean record. Perfect record. Blah, blah, blah. But there was other years he didn't make the finals. LeBron made the finals. You know what I mean?
Years, yeah.
And you should penalize. He shouldn't be penalized for making the finals.
I think
you know what I mean?
I think you know what it is? When we look at Jordan, we just see perfection. That is so far from the truth, especially watching at this documentary.
Exactly.
Because, as a society, we build people up just to tear them down. Because, once we had enough of Jordan, I think it was, after the first three-peat, his dad passes away. And then there are allegations over gambling about that, and people were on him about that for gambling.
Yeah.
And plus an author came out with a book called The Jordan Rules and how he would yell at his teammates and stuff like that and really reveal the curtain. I think Jordan's great, and I think he's probably still the greatest right now until LeBron either gets 2 more rings. But, I don't know, man.
That's a good point.
It's a weird...
That's a good point because we constantly see the 6-0, and we put such an emphasis on the
And
0.
we only see highlights too nowadays.
Yeah.
We only see the fantastic dunks.
Of course. It's interesting. You know what I mean? I mean, it's closer than a lot of people think, and I don't want to see LeBron penalized for making the finals and losing. You know, like, yes, if he goes 3-13 in the final, like, yeah, that's significant, but, you know, if he goes 6-7 in the finals, he has as many rings as Jordan. You know what I mean? And again, that's him playing for quite a few more years, but he has as many rings as Jordan, and he's been there an additional 7 times.
How old is LeBron?
He shouldn't be penalized for that.
35? 34?
35 at least, 36.
Like, think about, like, Vince Carter's still fucking out here playing.
Yeah.
Like, because, like, think of it this way, like, if LeBron can consistently make the finals or even the Western Conference final for, like, the next, hypothetically, let's say, as many years as Vince Carter has been playing in his 40s.
Yeah, LeBron's got at least 3 or 4 good, solid years, it seems like. He's not slowing down. He's averaging 11 assists this year.
He's not only going to break Kareem, I didn't think about it, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's scoring record, but he will get to the finals a couple more times.
Yep.
And to mention, I don't think anybody after him is really going to beat that. If he keeps up with his pace. I mean, you can look at other people like Zion and stuff like that, but it's too early with Zion to really tell where his career is really going to go, so I don't want to make any, crazy accusations. But, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if LeBron stays healthy, he's getting Kareem's record. You know what I mean? He's going to break that without a doubt. Yep. And that's another thing sometimes people penalize LeBron for when it comes to the Jordan conversation is that he's played for more years. Oh, Jordan, Jordan did it in however many years, and he won 6 rings. LeBron's going to do it in 25 years. You know what I mean? Like, okay, he had longevity and he played. Like,
longevity's
a good thing. Yeah, he shouldn't be penalized for playing longer than Jordan. You know what I mean? And that's another thing some people do, having that conversation. Sometimes I get a little defensive for LeBron.
So. No, I mean, it makes sense because you're kind of, every generation has that athlete.
Yeah.
So for the 90s to late 80s, it would have been Jordan, right? And then the 80s, it would have been Magic and Bird.
Yep.
But now, our generation, we had LeBron and a little bit of Kobe. I don't know where you put Kobe because he came in 1996.
Yeah.
But probably like a 2000s, right, superstar, right? Probably.
Yeah, yeah.
So, basically, I think we're very defensive over LeBron more so than anything. I think this documentary I think this documentary came out for all the old heads really trying to enjoy it more than anything. But, like,
that's true.
They're both great in their own right, but they never got to play each other in each other's prime, so we'll never really know. Because we could debate this till the cows come home.
Yeah.
I mean...
And it's fun, but you're right. There's, we do all this talk, and all these shows do all these talks, and
the
these
league
conversations.
Has changed significantly, too.
Yeah.
With, I think it was like the best ranked team in the 90s, or leading in three-pointing, is at the bottom of today's era of three-point shots taken, which is a drastic difference.
It's a different game.
Yeah.
It's a very different game.
I'm curious, how would you feel about the NBA putting a 4-point line in?
I don't know. I don't even, it'd be cool for a while. I just don't know if it would be. These dudes are like Lillard and Steph, and they're hitting those all day. And so I wouldn't like it either. You know what I mean? I think it would be like a new cool thing, but practically speaking, I wouldn't really like it that much.
I think it would take away so much, like, scoring from the paint away.
Yeah.
And that's how I like playing the game.
Yeah. That's an interesting point.
Me personally, if I was a owner of a team, because I think all the owners get together and vote on certain rule changes throughout the year. At least that's how it's done in my GM mode. But yeah, I would vote against no for a 4-point line. Me personally.
Yeah.
So speaking of which, speaking of ESPN's top 10 and stuff like that, and we should really consider how this season's going to go down in history because everything going on being basically canceled.
Yep.
So how do you think they're going to basically have a declared championship for 2020? What do you think they're going to do?
I sure hope they play it out.
I want them to play it too.
I miss sports so bad. This is day 70, 65, 70 without sports, but who's counting? It hurts. Like, I want sports so bad, particularly basketball. NBA is my favorite thing. Shout out to the Sixers. That's my favorite team. And I want it to return. Shut up. Didn't AI step over Ty Lue in those finals?
Oh, we don't jack him.
And so I want it to be back. There's a lot of rumors swirling around, and Adam Silver's doing a good job. He's trying to get it back. He did a good job initially. When the NBA shut down, it was like, okay, this is real. That's when it hit me for real. Like, this virus thing that we're dealing with is like a real deal. and he was the first league to shut down.
Take away sports, everybody goes mad.
Exactly. And so there's rumors that they're going to play in 2 locations, Disney World and Las Vegas. A couple rumors going around there.
I heard a team was moving to Las Vegas. Is that true?
I heard that too.
I would really enjoy that.
That'd be cool, yeah.
That would be so dope.
That would be cool. So that, if they have to finish in 2 locations, that's fine by me. If they have to finish with no fans, that's fine by me. I just want the NBA to be back. And I think, personally, the Sixers are going to be beneficiaries of this because they will now have a healthy Embiid, a healthy Simmons.
Speaking of healthy
ready to
people
roll.
Coming back from injury, sorry to cut you off, but
good.
Did you hear about the Nets on how long it's been? Because KD is technically healthy.
Oh, yes, I saw that.
Technically, can he still play for this season? And my dad even said, do you know how funny it would be to see the Nets come out of nowhere and just take a W for the year? I was like, if that happens, this year technically didn't happen.
Yeah. But the Warriors are taking the biggest W right now. Their stars are resting, and they're going to get top pick.
Not just that. I think they took a big W because their record, they're like at the bottom of the West this year.
Yeah, exactly.
I think they're going to come back stronger than ever because not only are they going to get a high pick, I think they're going to be like the Spurs when they tried to acquire Timmy because they basically had one bad season.
Yeah.
Pop had, got this good kid.
Yep.
So I think that's what it's going to be like. I think they're going to get somebody really good from the draft and then come back even stronger.
I
think they need a center more than anything. For Warriors, I think a center would be perfect for them. Someone to rebound. Because think about it, Dennis Rodman helped out so much with the Bulls, just grabbing rebounds. Because I think it's like 60. Because he grabbed like 20 rebounds in a game. Like he had multiple rebounding things.
Monster, yeah.
So think about it that way. Like I think it's like just grabbing rebounds, getting that second chance. I believe it's 60% chance. Don't quote me on that. I don't know exactly if that's statistically accurate, but a 60% chance of you scoring again and getting another
bucket,
2.
Yeah.
That makes up so much more of a difference than anybody.
And that's a scary thought with the Warriors getting something like someone dominant down there.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
It's very, very scary. And so it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the NBA coming up. Adam Silver said that they're going to make a decision, I think, within like a week or 2 or 3 or something like that. And so I'm intrigued. I'm excited. I hope it returns. I just bought a pair of like Ben Simmons custom shoe today.
Did you really?
Yeah, man.
I want the Kawhi Leonard New Balance.
They came out today at 10 a.m. on Foot Locker. I got them at like 11.
Did you really?
Yeah, I had to. They're not even his like signature.
Did you order them online?
Yeah, Foot Locker.
Okay.
They're not his signature shoe, but they're the Blazers, so like the 77 Blazers, and he got it's on his Instagram, it's everywhere, like a customization that he made.
I have not heard about
They're
this.
fire, and I just got them. They're kind of like an Australian thing with them going on too. They're pretty dope.
That brings up another question, too. I think in 30 years from now, thinking about shoes, I think Jordan's going to be remembered more as a brand than anything.
Yeah, I mean, look how much money he made. Have you seen
was
some
it like
of those
$2 billion
comparisons?
for Jordan?
Yeah, compared to what he actually made in his career.
Yeah, it's so different.
It's insane.
I think when we're in our 80s, kids are going to be like, LeBron is the greatest. Be like, who is the greatest? And we're going to mess around with them. We're like, Jordan. They're like, the shoe?
Yeah,
they're going to be so confused. They're going to be like, I
know, right?
And you know what I noticed, too, about Jordan? Did you notice him in the documentary? Because I want to go back to because the documentary is just fantastic.
Yeah.
It's 10 hours worth of footage. What the fuck was up with his eyes? You notice that?
A little bit, yeah. I saw some tweets and stuff about that.
Like, his eyes are... If anyone's like a doctor or knows what's going on, please leave that in the comment section. Please leave it. I want to know what that is and why that has happened to him. It's so crazy. And if you look carefully, there's a scene in the later documentaries where his hands are out, and one finger on the hand is just completely bent and it looks gross. I'm like, that's nasty.
It is nasty.
And you know what's sad, though? I don't think Michael Jordan has friends. No, seriously. All of his teammates don't like him. And he's not hanging out with anybody. Yeah. Like, there's a scene where they get his personal assistant in the thing, and I noticed how it said personal assistant / friend. I was like, that's somebody you pay. And you're calling him your best friend. I was like, God
I know,
damn.
Right? That's crazy.
Oh,
that is insane. Yeah, that's an interesting point. He's got acquaintances. He's got people that he knows.
I think he has fans. I just don't think he has friends.
For sure, yeah.
Like, without a doubt, he has fans.
Yeah.
But fans and friends are two different things.
That's right.
It's like Dennis Rodman. Like, I remember, have you seen Dennis Rodman 30 for 30? It was called Dennis Rodman Better for
I saw
Worse.
pieces of that, too, actually.
So good.
Yeah.
I like it because Dennis Rodman is one of my favorite players, too. The scene where he basically goes into the office, hey, Phil, I need a break. I was like, from what, Dennis? Because Scottie just came back. And then I feel like Dennis Rodman always needs to feel needed on a team. That's what it was with Detroit because he grabbed so many boards and he was so needed on Detroit. and he added so many levels of toughness for Detroit. I think that's what Michael Jordan probably respected most about Dennis Rodman was Jordan will bully you and to get you on the same level. I think when he got Rodman on the team, I think he realized and said, wait, I don't got to motivate this guy. He's already in first gear, ready to go.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Because he talks about when Dennis Rodman comes back from Vegas and he's hanging out with Carmen Electra. Carmen Electra, by the way, still got it. I don't care how old she is. But basically, Phil was going to make them run around the practice thing, and it's like kind of like a track around the basketball court. And then in this documentary, whoever the last person is or overtakes another person then has to slow down. So you're kind of going at the lead pace.
Yeah.
So Michael told everybody, just go slow for Dennis. I don't know how he's feeling. Literally, as soon as it goes, Steve Kerr's in front, Dennis takes off. And I'm not even joking. Jordan goes, we needed 4 laps just to catch up to Dennis. And that's why I love Dennis. I think he just respected the shit out of him. Even though he didn't have to do anything with him. Because he had to punch Steve Kerr. And there's another dude who he bullied for a whole time during the second three-peat. I don't remember what it is. Scott Stiles, I think it was. Okay. I don't remember if that's his actual name. It was Scott something. Mm-hmm. But basically, even B.J. Armstrong said it best. You must really gotta love basketball to play with Michael Jordan. What does that mean? You already know what he's insinuating, that he makes basketball such a living hell for you to the point where you just don't want to play anymore.
Reminds me of one player today.
What, who?
Jimmy Butler.
You think so? I don't keep an eye on Miami like that.
Well, I mean, I love Jimmy on the Sixers for the 50, 60 games he was with us. But, obviously there's the stories in Chicago. There's the stories in Minnesota. He just wants to win. He's got some Michael in him, that's for sure. And, obviously not the same level.
So he's a monster to his teammates?
But he's just, people can say that. I think he's a decent teammate, but more just the mentality. If you're not on this train to win, get off.
Really?
And so
I didn't get that from him.
Yeah. So he's big time. And he's made even some. He was on the JJ Redick podcast. I don't know how long ago, talking about his time in Philly because both of them are now out of Philly, so both of them can talk bad about Philly.
Right.
And his biggest thing for Jimmy, he was like, dude, I don't know who was in charge on that team. He would go into practice and not know who's running the team, not know what coaches is doing. You know what I mean? And so it was just a really interesting thing, not knowing if Embiid's the team captain, team leader. If Simmons is the team captain, point guard, what's going on? And so he didn't know who was running the show, and so it was really, really interesting. And he reminds me a little bit of
who I would pick mentality wise more than anybody would be Westbrook.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and I think if Westbrook played in the 90s, though, I think he'd be so much more better. Because Westbrook's game really is from the mid-range. Mm-hmm. When they think that's where the 90s were playing mid-range game. I think he would have thrived in the 90s more than anything.
Yeah. That's an interesting point.
Yeah.
That's an interesting point. So, something funny I saw.
Okay.
Something very funny I saw. I think it was today or yesterday. So today, what? Today's the 21st. 21st of May.
Yeah.
Can't believe it's already May. Can't believe it's already almost June. But anyway, this came out, I think, today or yesterday, day before. Paul Pierce announces his top 5 of all time. And I don't know.
All right, wait.
How do you feel about Paul Pierce?
First off, I love Paul Pierce.
I hate Paul Pierce.
No, as a player.
I hate Paul Pierce.
I love him as a player.
I hate Paul Pierce.
As an analyst, he lost a few IQ points.
Yes. More than a few. A lot. So the one year, when 2018,
probably did
Boston wins Game 1 against the Bucks. And he says, all right, Bucks aren't winning the game this series. Boston got this wrapped. Bucks go win 4 in a row. It's just stuff like that kills me about Paul Pierce.
I think he did that because it was Boston.
Yeah, of course. So
I think it was I let his personal bias.
He lets that happen too much, and he did that in his top 5 players of all time. So his top 5, you'll notice someone important is missing. So you tell me who's missing, okay? When I read this to you, you tell me who's missing.
I think I know who it is.
All right. He goes Michael Jordan 1, Kareem 2, Bill Russell 3, Magic 4, and then Kobe at 5. And there's an interesting name that's not listed there. Can you tell me who that is?
I think I know who it is.
Yeah, who's that?
Let me take a guess. Did he play him in the playoffs?
Yes.
LeBron James?
LeBron James is not in Paul Pierce's top 5 players of all time.
And he
actually tried to back that up.
I think that's the old school mentality where you can't acknowledge. It's like the same thing that John Stockton said about Jordan. I'm not going to go out there and say he's black excuses. I'm not going to go out there and say he's better than me. Yeah. I think Charles did that with Jordan for like a while before he played him in the 1993 finals. I mean, I think that's just the old school mentality where you just can't say the person across from you is just better.
Yeah.
Because how could you live with yourself? I get Paul Pierce. I understand Paul Pierce. Do I think he should let his personal bias come through all the time? Absolutely not.
Do I think he should have a job as an analyst? Absolutely not.
Like, hey, man. Paul Pierce.
I didn't like him.
Did you like him as a player?
No.
I
hated Paul Pierce.
Really?
Could not stand Paul Pierce.
He was a Celtic and I liked him. And I'm a Lakers fan.
Sixers fan, same thing. You know what I mean? A little bit. So, as a Sixers fan, didn't like Paul Pierce. I mean, the Celtics are my most disliked team in the NBA by far. You know, currently, back then, I'm not a fan of Paul Pierce. If I play with Paul Pierce, if I play with the Celtics all-time team or something on
you won't
2K,
pass the Paul Pierce.
No. One step further. I put him on the bench. If he's in the starting line, I call a timeout, I get him out, I don't play him the rest of the game.
That's hilarious.
I don't like Paul Pierce that much. And
can I tell you something? In 2K, his shot is water for me.
I've seen it. It's been water on me, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, he's just said some crazy stuff. I think he said that he was a better shooter than Clay. He has said the Bucks story. He is something else, and
I find him entertaining.
To support it. I guess it is.
It's entertaining.
You know what I mean? Because it goes to social media right then, and you're like, "What is Paul Pierce talking about?" And everyone can just roast him on Twitter right away. But man,
Did you hear what he said about the wheelchair game where he got carried out?
Yes.
About him actually crapping his pants and not actually a thing.
Yeah,
I believe that's 100% true. Hey. He's got heft, bro. I'm a hefty dude right now, and I gotta tell you, I gotta use the bathroom. It's bad.
That's good, man. Yeah. I don't know if that's true, but that is a crazy story. That's a crazy story. So, real quick, and then we'll wrap up. So, NBA, we're hoping we'll be back. I read that they're going to, open stuff up June 1st.
June 1st?
Or, kind of more of a plan of action for facilities and things like that, what teams can do, whatever. And then they're thinking, or hoping, I think the hope around the league is that they're going to be playing games by mid-July. Whatever that looks like, if that means it's going to jump right into the playoffs, if that means it's going to have... I even heard they could do the top 10 seeds, just to give 9 and 10 a little play-in.
I think
for that.
You should just do the standard playoff format at that stage.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a lockout season. Just think of it that way.
I think
That's how
so,
I'm looking at it is. So, Lakers are going to be, number one in the West.
Yep.
In the East, who's number one? Bucks?
Bucks, yeah.
So, have it that way.
Yep.
I think the first round, to make everything go by faster, should be they used to do it to 5 games. Yeah.
I think the first round should be 5 games anyway, because there's a lot of games in the playoffs and not all.
No, there are some upsets in 7 games.
There are.
And I find those entertaining.
Yeah. So we'll see. It's going to be interesting. I think that, I just think it's going to be interesting. I've also heard that the NBA has considered even moving the start of every regular season to Christmas Day, which I think would be pretty sweet.
Really?
So it would basically go from Christmas Day to August, which is about when we finish up this year. You know what I mean? So rather than October to June, it would be Christmas, late December to August, which would be an interesting thing.
Hey, man, there's no harm in trying it one time, and if it sucks, you never do it again.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. But...
So we'll see what happens.
Other than that, I think the season really takes a toll on LeBron's legacy more than anything. Because you know what I mean? Because what if they don't do that and they just declare that the Lakers are the championship because they have the best record? You know what I mean? You know how many people would later down the road would say,
of course.
1 ring should be revoked.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's why I think LeBron even started that all players call and told everybody to get behind it. We want the league to come back, and they all do.
Mm-hmm.
But LeBron especially, he's obviously got a team that can for sure win it all. And it's if they don't play this year, that's gonna hurt because that's another year over for LeBron.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah. On that note, I think we hit all the topics that we wanted to talk about for tonight, right? I think it's time to wrap this show up.
That's right.
That we don't even have a name for.
That's right. We will work on that. We promise. And we'll
Watch, we're going to be 500 episodes and still don't have a name.
We're really thinking hard about it. And we just want it to be good.
I'm working.
So we are glad that you guys were able to jump in with us this evening or whenever you're watching this.
Definitely. Put in the comment section your starting 5 of all time, what you think of the ESPN things, and what your favorite part of Last Dance was.
That's
Most
right.
importantly, again, Dennis Rodman for me.
That's good stuff.
I love Dennis Rodman.
That's good stuff.
Crazy as hell. This man was on Monday Night Nitro.
All right. We'll see you next time.
Yep, that's a wrap.